Hi there, and welcome to the cat. So the cat stretch is a really nice flexion and extension of your spine. It is completed in our 4-point kneeling position. So the nice thing about this is I'll be able to talk you through what 4-point kneeling is, and then also some nice movement through the spine. So the aim of this exercise is to get that flexion and extension. So what you're going to do, as I say, start off in this 4 points. What we're trying to do, once again, just as I spoke to you about with the other alignments, is replicate a nice neutral. So we're going to think from the top of the head down to the tailbone and the feet. So your head, remember, is part of your spine. It's the end of your spine. So quite often I see people with dipped necks or reaching up, but what you want is your neck just to be long and at the end of that spine. Make sure you've got that little curve behind the neck, just that, you know, that's there. And you'll also have the curve in your lower back. So what's quite useful here would be to do some nice pelvic tucks here. So we did them on our backs into relaxation position. It's just that sending of the tailbone towards the nose or north, and then down towards the feet, towards south. So we're exaggerating the lower back movement. So somewhere in between those absolute extremes, settling where your pelvis is nice and level, so that your lower abdominals are a little bit switched on. You've got your curve, but it's not exaggerated, okay? So we've got the spine, we've got now the pelvis. The other important part here are the shoulders. So again, very important to make sure that we've got connection through the shoulder girdle. What I'd like you to try here is just completely releasing that connection in the shoulder girdle. So you sort of fall between your shoulders, your arms, and then we can press up as if we're really trying to reach the shoulder blades up towards the ceiling. So we can collapse a little, and then we press up. So those are our extremes of movement in this direction through the shoulder girdle. So again, we don't want to be at either end of these extremes. You want to be somewhere in the middle. So just press, but feel that press into the mat, and again it's that opposition, hands into the mat, mat into the hands, so that push me pull me. So again, also you feel maybe a little bit of work going on in your mid back between your shoulder blades. That just makes sure that you're nice and stable. Your hands are nice and wide, and I know that sometimes we can feel quite weak in our wrists. Ideally, unless you've got an injury, we're just going to try and keep working on it over time and just get that strength up. The other important thing here with the arms are that we're not locked out completely. So if I just show you a locked out elbow, would be like locked. What you want is to feel a little bit of softness. And quite often some people are a bit hypermobile in our elbows. So you just want to make sure that there's that softness and we're certainly not locked. So then let's start to go into your cat stretch. So when you're ready, you're taking a breath in. On your exhale, think of that pelvic tuck we just did to find our neutral. We're going to bring that tailbone towards our nose, and then allow the vertebrae just to go one at a time. Your head is the last thing to flex in. Breathing in there, and then we're going to unravel. So think about taking the head, upper back, mid back, lower back, pelvis to neutral, and then we can take it into extension. So we then start to think, okay, so I'm going to then start to take the head up a little, but we're not yanking the neck back, and then just think about your sternum, so the middle of your rib cage. That's where I want you to think about reaching it forwards and up towards the ceiling. So don't be tempted to go, I'm looking up. Once we've extended through that neck, it's then the rest of the spine to go into extension. Breathing in there. We're going to exhale as we unravel to neutral, and then you could take it into your flexion. Breathing in. Exhaling neutral, and then into extension. And then that could continue. So trying to make it as relaxed and as wave-like as you can. And then when you've done that, just to give the wrists a bit of a break, you can sit back into our rest position or child's pose. Some people like to have the arms long, forehead onto the mat. And sometimes it's quite nice to have the arms down by the side. Again, forehead onto that mat. But there you go. So an introduction to the 4-point kneeling as well as the cat stretch. Enjoy!